So I picked a card, so I just wanted to share that. It says, I acknowledge and appreciate all that I am and all that I have. I am abundant. That's such a good one, because it really brings us back to our gratitude, coming from a low vibrational feeling of fear or anxiety. If we come back to gratitude, it can help us shift a lot of what we might be holding on to unconsciously. So yeah, just saying and affirming, I am abundant, I am blessed, I am grateful, and I can do anything. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to start the class with. So yeah, for people who have just come in, if you could just mute yourself, and preferably if you have a blanket or a block near you, that's fine. If you don't have those things, that's okay. Blanket will help. We're going to start with some breath work just to tune in with our body and breath and come to the present moment. Just letting go of any tension in the face. Relax the shoulders. Maybe placing the hands in your lap or on your knees, palms facing up or down. And then by all means, if you want to do your meditation lying down in shavasana or another pose, please go ahead. So we're going to take some deep breaths together. On your next inhale, inhaling deeply through the nose and maybe holding at the top. And then exhaling out. Maybe holding at the bottom. And then inhaling again. Pausing at the top, holding, and then exhaling out. Just one more of those deep breaths. Inhaling, and then exhaling. Keeping the eyes closed. And now coming just to observe how you're naturally breathing. If you want to do some deep breaths and continue with that, you can go ahead. And then once you've found a position where you're just ready to observe how you're naturally breathing, come to focus your attention on the entrance of the nostrils, where the air is coming in through the nose and out the nose. Keeping your attention in that area. If you find that the mind wanders away or you get distracted by a thought or a dream, just bring yourself to focus back to the breath, back to observing how that air comes in through the nose and out the nose. So keep drawing your attention back to that area. We're going to practice our ujjayi breath now. So if you know your ujjayi breath, go ahead and practice that now. If you don't know your ujjayi breath, I'm about to demo. We can do that together. So on your next inhale, take a long inhale through the nose. And when you exhale, exhale out with the mouth. The mouth open as if you're fogging up a mirror on your exhale. Again, on your next inhale, through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. As if you're fogging up a mirror. Inhaling again. And then this time keep the mouth closed, but with the same effort as you had before, as if you're fogging up a mirror through the nose. And you'll hear that sound, that audible sound of the breath. That is the sound of the Ujjayi breath. And we can utilize the Ujjayi breath to bring us back into the present moment once we recognize that the mind has come in and taken us away with a lot of thinking, a lot of thoughts, which is completely normal that the mind does that. But we are training it by coming back to the breath. And in our yoga poses, you can really use the Ujjayi breath. To bring you back. Ujjayi means victorious. So using the victorious breath to ground your mind and body into the moment. So just coming back to the natural breath once again. Just observing how you're naturally breathing. Paying particular attention to the entrance of the nostrils. Good, and when you're ready to open the eyes, we're going to come into a child's pose to begin with. With child's pose, you come into a tabletop position and take the knees as wide as the mat, top of the toes together, come to sit on the heels and then melt the heart down. Forehead can come to the mat. I'm just going to breathe here just for about a minute, just to open the hips a little. And if this is a lot on the hips, you can always bring the knees in instead and then fold over. So instead of having the knees as wide as the mat width of the mat, you can just bring the knees in together and then fold the torso and the heart over. So just trying to be intentional. Now that we're on our mat, we're trying to be intentional about letting go of any persistent thoughts that might be on the mind. I'm going to take a little stretch to the left. So taking our arms to the left-hand side, maybe placing the right hand on the left wrist. Just breathing into this nice stretch on the side of the torso. Again, keep focusing on your breath if you find that the mind is coming up with thoughts. Or perhaps there's just distractions or noises in the room or outside. Just keep using the breath, your focus on the breath and using the Ujjayi. Just last few breaths here on this side. whenever you're ready, we're gently taking it over to the right side, placing that left hand on top of the right wrist and just breathing into this stretch on the left side torso. Last few breaths here. I'm going to come into the middle now. I'm going to gently come into a tabletop position for some cat-cows. So from here you can drop the belly on your inhale. Gaze up, open heart, open chest. This is for cow. And then on your exhale, you can round the spine for cat. Draw the belly in, chin to chest. And then doing a couple of these cat-cow movements, just dropping the belly, shoulders away from the ears if possible. And then rounding the spine, drawing the belly in, up, chin coming in. This is for cat. And then just doing one more of those. Maybe you want to do some wrist stretching, just turning the palms around and just being here, maybe doing some cat-cows with this or finding some stillness. If you want to take this a little deeper, you can always come to not sit on the heels but leaning back and just lifting the palms up slightly for more of a finger stretch too. But really just listening and tuning in with what feels good for you, remembering that if at any time in yoga or this class you're feeling any pain, then you're just simply coming out of it. We're not here to force a sensation. Yes, there will be uncomfortable and discomfort, and we're using the Ujjayi breath for that as the tension is released from the body. Any pain, we're just coming out of it. And then once you've done that side, you can turn your palms over, palms facing you, and you can either stay here or maybe curl the fingers in and then breathing with that. I'm trying to keep the forearms straight, but it's okay if they're not. I'm just breathing here. And then gently releasing. And now from here, we're going to come into a downward facing dog. Now, if you'd rather not come into a downward facing dog, you can stay here and do some cat-cows. Tuck the toes under, sit the hips up and back. And we're just going to breathe here, maybe pedaling out the feet. And then just gently finding some stillness. Keep breathing. This last few breaths here in this pose. Such a important pose, downward facing dog. Quite like how an inversion benefits the body. It can really help the parasympathetic nervous system, or just calm the nerves, basically. And whenever you're ready, you're either going to walk your feet up to the hands or bring your hands towards your feet. And we're going to keep our knees bent here. If you want to hold on to the elbows, gently rocking side to side, bending the knees as much as you need, and just feeling into this stretch, or maybe finding stillness, just breathing here, just getting some stretch to the back of the legs. This is also a really good inversion because it's quite like being upside down, which is really beneficial for the body. Really good for the immune system. if we could do this at least once a day. Really helps shift any toxins from the body using with the lymphatic system. Really helping our lymphatic system with our yoga. Lymphatic system is our immune system. So really helping the body shift all that stagnation. And then whenever you're ready, we're slowly going to come back to our tabletop position. And then from here, we're going to bring our right foot up in front. Now you have a choice here to come into a low lunge. Now the low lunge can either be with the knee directly above the ankle, and you're here, or if you want to go a little deeper, you can take that left leg back and you can hold the hands either side of the front foot, or if you want to take it even deeper than that, coming into a lizard. So a lizard lunge, you're taking the right foot out to the side and you're here with the hands, or if you want to use a block or a cushion, and we're just breathing here. We're going to be here for at least a minute or two. So finding whatever position, low lunge or lizard, feels good for you. This is just to open the hips. Really try to release tension in this area and get this area of detoxifying as well. Maybe just finding some stillness, closing the eyes, and just tuning in with your breath. Last few breaths here. And when you're ready, we're gently bringing that right leg back to our tabletop position. We're gently bringing that left leg in front. So finding your either your low lunge with your torso raised, with the knee directly above the ankle, or you can shift yourself so that you're coming into a low lunge that is deeper for the inner thighs and the hip flexors and the pelvis. Just keep checking that the knee is directly above the ankle, or perhaps coming into your lizard if you want to have an even deeper hip opener. And then just breathing here with either your hands directly on your mat or your elbows with blocks or cushions or just the floor. So I'm going to be here for about a minute, just breathing through, really sending energy to the body, particularly in the really tense areas or wherever you're feeling that stretch. Basically, we're just releasing tension, just observing those sensations. It's okay if it's discomfort or uncomfortable. This is the way the tension is leaving the body. We're just really deepening into that stretch, melting into it. Just allowing for whatever needs to show up. Last few breaths here. And then we're gently, if you're in lizard or if you're in low lunge, just bringing your hands to the middle and gently taking that left leg back. I'm going to come straight into puppy dog pose, which will be a nice counteract feeling. Check that the hip is directly above the knees. Knees can be a little together. We're just spreading out the hands in front of us. Forehead comes to the mat. This is really good for the upper back and the shoulders. Keep using the Ujjayi breath to help you ground the mind, letting it go. Really trying to bring our attention back in this way is practicing our meditation and giving our mind a rest. Just a couple more breaths here in this puppy dog pose and Anahata. And then whenever you're ready, you're coming up to a tabletop position, coming straight into seated. So I'm here coming into a gentle, easy seated pose, whatever feels comfortable for you. I'm just going to focus a little bit on the neck. So we're going to take some shoulder rolls. So on your next inhale, lift up to the ears and then back. And then exhaling, inhaling. Exhaling, maybe doing it the other way, inhaling. Exhaling and then releasing one more time. Inhale. Exhale. And then just letting go. You're going to bring your neck down to your chest. Just breathing here. gently take our roll so that our chin goes to our right shoulder real slow. Just pausing there. Keep breathing. And then we're going to roll our chin to our chest, taking it all the way to the other shoulder, and then pausing here. We're now going to take our head gently back real slow. This doesn't need to be very fast, just slow. And then rolling it all the way to the other side, really slowly. And pausing there, taking the 180-degree with our head rolling back gently to the other shoulder, so the left shoulder this time. And we're just gently going to release that. We're going to take our left hand onto the floor, and we'll take our right ear towards the right shoulder. And depending on how deep this feels for you, if you want to take your hand a little further out to the side, and then just breathe there and settle in to whatever sensations are arising in the neck or perhaps the arm. And just breathing here. I'm gently going to release that and take a neutral position for the head. Now we're taking the right hand out, and we're gently lowering our left ear to the left shoulder, and then just breathing here. There's no need to, you can place that hand on the head if you want, but really it doesn't need to be there. It just might force a sensation. You don't want that. You just want to gently observe whatever tightness you're feeling, whatever sensation, just breathing. As long as you're not feeling any pain. Just gently letting go of any tension in your forehead or your face if you notice that you're holding tension there. And gently releasing that, and opening the eyes, spreading the feet out wide. So we're going to come into wide-legged forward fold, or rather just wide-legged to begin with. Flex the feet if you want to sit on a blanket. Now, if you notice that your back is rounding, you might just want to have the hands out behind you and just breathe here with the feet flexed. If you find that your spine is long and not too curved, you can put the hands out in front of you and then gently falling forward to whatever depth into this pose is accessible for you. So this is going to look different for everybody. So really just finding with what sensation is enough. If you find that there's not enough of a sensation on the inside of the thighs when you take your hands to the inside, then maybe staying there instead of having them behind. But really, you don't need to force this pose because it is quite an intense one as it is. So we're going to be here for at least a couple minutes, just breathing, practicing your meditation by being with the breath and the body. Just a couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, we're gently lifting the torso, we're bringing the arms in, and we're gently bringing the legs together, really slowly. And when you're ready to bend the knees, maybe we're going to windshield wipe the knees just to release any tension in the lower back or the thighs or the legs. And then from here, with the palms of the feet on the ground, we're going to come into Gomukhasana. So with Gomukhasana, we're going to bring the right foot, threading it underneath the left leg, bringing it to the outside of that left thigh. Now, if this, let me see. All right, if this becomes too much where you now, when you bring the left leg over so that both feet are on the outside of the thighs, if this doesn't feel right, instead, you're going to take the right leg straight out and just have that left leg over instead. So you're just having the left foot over the right with the left foot on the outside of the right hip. And you're going to breathe here and then inhale the chest elongating the spine and then falling forward. If you're in the full version of Gomukhasana, this might just be enough where you are. Try to have the hips in a mutual position. Maybe that might help with a blanket. And then maybe that's enough. This can be quite an intense one, so we're just staying here. But if you want to fold forward, inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, try to keep the tummy engaged, and then lower to where it's just enough with the hands in front. So we're going to be here for a few minutes, so just finding that edge where it's just enough of a sensation. This is a really intense hip opener. And if you're in half Gomukhasana, this is really good for the thigh and the back of the thigh, the hamstrings and the calf muscles. So good for releasing tension there. So wherever you are, just breathing here, using the Ujjayi breath, or just observing the sensations. next inhale, and then gently lift the torso. We're going to remove that top leg gently and slowly, and then bringing both feet to the ground, the palms of the feet to the ground. And this time we're going to take that left leg underneath and that right leg over. So if you did only half Gomukhasana this time, your left leg will be straight out, and then inhale, lift the chest, and then gently folding forward where it's just enough of a stretch with that left leg, that left foot flexed. It's just breathing with that. So either full Gomukhasana or half Gomukhasana, both very, very effective at releasing tension, moving toxins. We accumulate a lot of and store a lot of emotion and tension and negativity and stagnation in this lower part of the body. So it's so good that we're focusing and using the breath to release, let go, and surrender, helping the body's immune system, helping let go of the mind. Just finding stillness wherever you are. If you are in full Gomukhasana, if you want to fall forward a little more, you can inhale, lift the chest, try to keep length in the spine, and then lower, falling forward. And if you do want to round the spine eventually, that's okay. Just breathing with whatever sensations are arising. And you really utilize the Ujjayi breath. As we notice that the mind wants to resist the sensations as they deepen, we keep focusing, using the Ujjayi to help let go of any resistance that the mind is trying to bring you in the future and the past, instead of being in the now moment. Last few breaths here. Whenever you're ready, slowly draw the torso up, releasing the legs, bringing both feet, the palms of the feet to the ground, and then gently windshield wiping the legs, just to release any residue, tension. I'm going to come to lie down now. Yay. Oh. I'm going to take a spinal twist. So also just finding what feels good for you in this moment. If it's going straight into shavasana, by all means, listen to the body. I'm going to demo a twist. I'm going to raise that right leg. I'm going to gently, using our left hand, take it towards the left side of our body. It might not come all the way to the ground. For taking that right hand out the opposite direction and gazing towards that right palm, but keeping the eyes closed. And if this variation of a spinal twist you're not feeling it today, you can always just bring both knees together so that they're stacked on the left side of the body, and then just breathing with this twist instead. Same with the gaze to the right palm, except we're closing the eyes. Just finding what spinal twist feels good, just breathing here. So good for detoxifying the body, the spinal twists, especially for the organs, the internal parts of the body. Well, all of this is really, but particularly with our spinal twist, so good for the digestion. Letting go of any unwanted toxins and just breathing here. On your next inhale, drawing the knees to the middle. And then maybe if you're stacking the legs, so both feet together, you might want to shift the pelvis to the left a little and then roll the knees to the right side with the left hand opposite direction. Gazing in that direction, but keeping the eyes closed. Just breathing here. Last few breaths here. And when you're ready, we're bringing the knees to the middle, maybe hugging the knees, maybe doing whatever movements feel good, whatever poses feel good in this moment for you. Maybe coming into happy baby as your final, second to last pose. Bring the palms of the feet to the ceiling, holding on to the ankles and drawing the knees towards the armpits or the outside of the torso. Just for a few breaths here, just opening up the hips and the hip flexors here, breathing deeply. Keeping the lower back on the ground. And we're gently releasing that. Whenever you're ready, taking knees, legs down, we're going to come into a full shavasana. So lying the body down completely, getting as comfortable. This is our final pose, but a very, very important one, because this will set our practice by giving our body a real rejuvenation, real healing space for the cells to really rejuvenate and replenish, just by us being fully present in the body in this way. Really boosts the immune system. So we're just letting go of any tension in the face, in the jaw, and the arms and the shoulders. And then once you've found your stillness, closing the eyes. And just, if you notice that the mind wanders away, we're drawing our attention back to the breath, back to the body. Really observing the body's sensations from head all the way down to the tips of the toes. Just scanning the body. Just being the observer. Deeply, deeply relax into your shavasana. Slowly coming back to the physical body, just observing the body in its entirety in this moment. Not moving yet, just observing how the body is and the energy that is our body. Maybe now focusing on the sensations in the palms and the feet, just observing anything in the palms and the feet. Now we might wiggle our toes and our fingers. Maybe bending the knees, coming to our left or right side, before slowly drawing up to seated. And just coming to seal our practice with so much gratitude, so much abundance for this beautiful practice of yoga, and how we can connect to that energy source within us, that divinity, that love, that light, that eternal wisdom within us all. And that divinity within me, that love, that light, eternal peace, recognizes that same divinity, love, light, and eternal peace within you and every living being. And may all beings be happy. Namaste. Namaste, beautiful souls.